Hi, I'm Hayley and I'm part of the regional team here in Southern Counties Baptist Association. When we think of church, I wonder what images come to mind. Maybe it's a candle, maybe it's someone preaching from a lectern, maybe it's a stained glass window, or maybe it's the flower rota and all of that. In Southern Counties, we've been deliberately investing for years on doing church differently. You're about to meet John, who is a pioneer, who spent time listening to his local community, and as a result has planted Ocean Church, which looks very different from what we might expect.
So welcome to Hamworthy. This is the beachfront at Hamworthy Park, and as you can see, it's absolutely stunning. And this is where we meet most of the time for church. This is where we do it. We literally, just over there, we put up a table, people gather around in chairs every other week. We've got a beach hut that we use just down there to put on breakfast and things like that. But we are a predominantly outdoor church. Everything, as much as possible in Ocean Church, happens in the outdoors, which means we're really light on overheads and costs, things like that. We tend to lug a load of stuff down to the beachfront and encourage people towards connecting with Jesus through nature. For us at the beginning, there was this really key question about what does it mean that God is not just alive, but he's working out on the water. There are people who live here, work here. The water is really important to so many people for all kinds of reasons. And we wanted to simply ask the question, well, what does it mean for God to already be working in the lives of these people, and for us as a Christian community to join in with that? And so, yeah, the point of Ocean Church really is to try and create a solid bridge between nature and the natural world and the Christian faith. My mother brought me up to think the church isn't the building, it's of course the people. And so Ocean Church is really trying to foster church as a way of life, like a shared way of life together. And so we meet under the open sky out here in the park, and that's really important. We try and build this bridge between nature and the Christian faith. But for us, the most important thing is this sense that we're trying to do life together. We're trying to foster shared patterns of being together. So in addition to our bi-weekly meetings, we've got a bunch of small groups going as well, but we're focusing on habits. We've got 3 habits that we really encourage people to do. One of those is to try and meet with Jesus outside as regularly as possible. One of those is to try and invite people into their home, preferably for a meal, as regularly as possible. And one of those is to try and connect with God as a whole household as regularly as possible. And so, and that is the foundation of what we're trying to do with Ocean Church. How are we doing things a little bit differently? Well, we don't meet on Sundays. We meet generally on Saturdays. We don't meet in a building. We meet out and about. And one of the big differences is that I would first, before we call ourselves a church, we were describing ourselves as a missional community, which for me is like a combination of the foundations of church, but combined with a sense of a mission field, which is distinct. And like those two things need to be woven together to create a missional community. And so I'm not just trying to ask the question, how can we do Bible study? How can we do worship? How can we do singing, that kind of stuff in a different place? I'm asking the question, okay, what does it mean to start with the water, to start with the outdoor landscape, and build backwards to what we know as church, or just Christian life together? What does that mean? Ever since I was a young boy, I've been really aware that the church in the UK is declining. Our numbers are going down every single year. We've done the decade of evangelism in the 90s, we've done church planting, we've done missional communities, and we're still going. Why are our numbers dropping? And for me, my sense of mission and what I'm trying to do comes out of a strong foundation that God is at work and God's heart is mission. It's embedded in the very nature of God. So I'm not driven by the fear of decline, but it is a very real sense, and it always has been a factor ever since I was born. We have got to do things dramatically different, otherwise we will not be here for much longer. I have always been convicted that the people who run messy churches and forest churches and other ministries in church, I've always wondered, why can't we commission those people to say that what they're doing is the real thing, rather than trying to filter people from the project all the way through to a Sunday service. You know, for me, they're already doing the real thing. And one of the great opportunities that I get to do is that I marry one of my greatest passions, the water, with a calling to actual ministry. It's really important to me to use the language of church now, because this isn't just an evangelistic project. It's not just mission. It's not a sideshow. What I'm doing is church in its fullest. And I want to see way more of this kind of stuff happen, not just in our region, but across the UK. For me, it just makes sense. People are already out in these kind of places. Let's commission more and more people like me to get out and do this stuff and call it the real thing.
So as you can see, many years of investment has meant a new expression of church. It may not look like this of what we're used to, but it is sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. If you've got a passion in your heart for reaching out in a different way to a new community with the good news of Jesus Christ, we would love to connect with you. If you're exploring how to do church differently, we would love to partner with you. We as a regional team are committed to walking with you and partnering in the gospel. Reach out and connect to us as we resource, connect and inspire you to do church differently.